Another thing that we deal with is the conditions of the facilities that these employees work in. These facilities are falling apart. So Benning Road facility is literally falling apart. W Street facility is literally falling apart. It's hard for the men and women that work for DPW to even use the restrooms at these facilities because these facilities are so dilapidated and so, it's just a terrible situation. We asked Colonel Spriggs if he would look into that situation, and he assured us that he would. We have another situation with our safety. When I took over the position as president of Local 2091, I was under the impression that we had a safety department for DPW. We do not have a safety department for DPW. We just have 2 safety individuals, I was told yesterday. But in working with Colonel Spriggs yesterday, he assured us that he would reach out and try to bring more safety to DPW to help stop with the workman comp situations, people having to take off work because they're wounded or hurt on the job. We also would like for the management, not only management, but supervisors to gain more training, better training, because the morale at DPW is low, very, very low. I was listening to the ANC commissioners, and when you come to work in these particular situations, and you come to work and you come to a dilapidated building and you have no restrooms to use and you're standing out in the cold and these things go on, the morale of not just the worker, any human being would be low, would be very, very low. And we're trying to build that morale up. So in working with Colonel Spriggs, we are attempting, or we hope to attempt and work together to bring up morale, fix up facilities, and hopefully get the correct amount of security there so that employees will feel safe to come to work.
Oh, it's our pleasure. This is my first time before you, Madam Nadeau. And my members are struggling over there mentally and physically. I just gave a brief introduction of really what's going on with the agency. And as I stated, with all fairness to Ms. Kwan Wei, we didn't have interactions with her last year. It was all under Director Chopra. But the damage is done, and my members have been worked tirelessly, and they're not getting the pay that they deserve. And those 22 grievances that we filed, those aren't made up numbers, those are facts. And they work my members outside of their job description. And then when my members say, hey, that's enough, I don't mind helping, but I also need to get paid. And so it's very disingenuous for the agencies to know that my members have done the work, and then they want to fight when my members would like to get paid for the work that they have performed. And so we're looking towards this board for any help that you can provide. Labor will be back in front of the committees to talk about the budget, the budget hearings to get additional pay. I have members, if it wasn't for the contract, they would not get any pay. We're fighting to get quality step increases based off of performance evaluations. And so that's a brief conversation we had with Ms. Kwan Wei, and we really look forward to working with her and her team to change the mindset of how my members are treated.
Wonderful. I look forward to continuing to hear about that progress.
Thank you.
Williams, did you have something specific as relates to public safety, as you mentioned in your testimony?
Yes, sir, Chairman White. We had a very extremely terrible incident, I think the 23rd, right before Christmas weekend, where it was an altercation between 2 patrons. It was a physical altercation, a fight was going on. and then it led to another altercation.
Where was this?
DCPS. This was at Woodridge Neighborhood Library.
Okay.
It was very terrible. The MPD actually had to come on to the scene to arrest this gentleman. And we've had shootings right outside our facilities. Also acts of violence, whereas patrons have attacked employees. So there are things that we're definitely concerned about, which being either public safety, public services, public officers at our locations, and better things so they can do their job more accordingly and provide a safe environment for not only employees, but also the patrons.
Got it.
So I just wanted to see if you could talk to me about, what do we need to do in the field of recruitment and retention to get more social workers, highly skilled social workers, culturally competent, which Rebecca was speaking to, social workers, and what can CFSA do to retain? But we also have this problem just across the city.
Yeah, I think one of the issues is a lot of the district is operating without being innovative and creative with how we deal with employees. Of course, part of the problem that we saw after the pandemic is flexibility with work schedules. I know the district wants everybody in the office. And I think a lot of people now are seeing, places are being more flexible and people are willing to go other places to be able to work differently instead of doing things the way that we've always done it. I also think, people need to be treated a little bit differently. And I think, people have lost a lot of patience during the pandemic, and they, as we get younger workers in the workforce, they come to it with a different notion. And so we have to look at those type of things when we're trying to recruit and retain anybody, even the senior workers that we already have. We have to treat them differently. So I think those are a couple of things. I don't think the district has done a very good job at looking at that. They're looking at things like business, bringing business into the city and making sure people come in the city to pay the taxes, which is understandable to a point, but you need the workers. We need people to go out and do these investigations, and it's not difficult. When our workers are being attacked, either physically or verbally, it's not easy to do that job of doing an investigation. So we have to find people who are willing to be flexible with that. Okay. I think CFSA has done a fairly good job with that. I know I mentioned 2 grievances, but we resolved those fairly quickly, and I didn't have any doubt that they wouldn't be resolved. But I think I was going through the process of what we do to get things resolved. I think we have a very good labor relations type thing at CFSA, unlike a lot of the agencies within the district.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. Thank you, Wayne. I see your hand up, so I'm gonna let you speak. And then Veronica is gonna be I have a question for Veronica, and that's gonna be my last question for this panel.
It was just real quickly. I believe when you mentioned the recruitment and retention, I also did want to add that I think placement of a social worker into the right place within the agency is critical, because not everybody should be in CPS. And although there's a need, there may be a lot of vacancies there. I may not be the right person for CPS. I'm a former social worker myself, but I worked in family stabilization, and that was a prime place for me to be because I enjoyed doing that work, and it fit me more. So I think that is very important to retaining someone.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for sharing that.
What I'm concerned about from their end of it is the fact that, again, it goes back to the comment I made about recycling bad managers. There's a very, very sick, toxic culture amongst the managers, especially middle management, where they like to bully and harass employees. And it's just unacceptable. And a lot of times it's in these same environments that you find these issues.
I think that's it. If you have anything you wanted to add before I go on to our next witness, feel free.
one day. I honestly just want to really, to the best of your ability, I think going forward, just really urging the agency to provide proper oversight so that our members are protected and supported in the work that they have to do for the district. Also, and I'd like to see that the workplace bullying and harassment officially be addressed. It's, and I think in the climate that we're in right now, where mental health is a very big issue, I think we need to be extremely sensitive and intentional about our approach to it and not pass it aside because we simply don't see the telltale signs. I'm here to confirm that it exists and it needs to be put to rest.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.